Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Yes, doing another video from the office, just sit and chill and talk to you. So go ahead right now, grab your popcorn, grab your notepad. We're gonna have a conversation about Atlanta so that you can get your knowledge up. This channel is all about increasing your knowledge base about, the Atlanta metropolitan area, hence Atlanta, Georgia living. We're talking about all of that in today's video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in today's video, we're gonna be breaking down the difference between Metro Atlanta and the Atlanta suburbs. I will be answering the million-dollar question of what is Atlanta Metro, what is the Atlanta suburbs, and how to know the difference. All right, so for all of you that are here for the first time, if this happened to be your first time watching any of my content here on YouTube, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Raymond, and I'm a real estate broker here in Atlanta, Georgia. I work with buyers and sellers that are looking to buy and sell real estate here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. And so when I say that, by the end of watching this video, you're gonna know what I mean by the Atlanta metropolitan area. But yes, if you're looking to buy or sell, I am your guy. All of my contact information should be on the screen as well as in the description below. So feel free to reach out to me. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. We're gonna do it in segments. So I wanna start with the facts about Atlanta City. So the city of Atlanta. We're gonna break it down and separate the city of Atlanta versus Metro Atlanta and all of that. So let's go ahead and get started with our first portion of the video. Okay, so city of Atlanta. Number one thing about the city of Atlanta is a city itself, right? I'm sure you already knew that, but just for the people that, sitting in the back now. Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta itself is a city. The city of Atlanta is super small in comparison to the Metro Atlanta area, all right? Atlanta City proper or Atlanta city limits is only 135 square miles, okay? So it's a it's a small area. In fact, Atlanta city limits is not the largest city in the state of Georgia. The largest city in the state of Georgia happens to be the city of Augusta, coming in at about 308 square miles, followed by the city of Macon coming in at 254 square miles, followed by Atlanta in the third position at 135 square miles. So as you can see, the city of Atlanta itself is the third largest city by land size. So anyway, that's a good fun fact, right? The population for the city of Atlanta in itself is roughly about 515,000 residents in the city limits of Atlanta. So looking at those numbers, hence Atlanta Metro is much larger than the city of Atlanta. So that's why you hear, for me and a lot of my content, as well as other YouTubers, real estate YouTubers, or YouTubers regarding Atlanta, most of the time prefer or refer to it as Atlanta Metro because we're talking about the whole of the area versus just the city limits of Atlanta. So most of my content here is going to be, at least as it stands right now, year 2022 was fundamentally all about the Atlanta metro area, right? Showing the wider, broader range of this overall area. 2023, set your notification bells, hit the subscribe button because we're gonna go more in depth on city of Atlanta. That's coming up this year. That's why you're watching this video at the end of this year, just kind of segueing it into a little bit more about the city of Atlanta. Fun fact as well, those of you who may not know, I am born and raised, I am a native of the city of Atlanta. So I have an interesting dynamic, right? And that's why I think that most of my clients benefit from my knowledge because I was born in the city of Atlanta. I was raised in the city of Atlanta. I went to Atlanta public schools throughout my whole entire schooling. And I went to college, Georgia State, Georgia Perimeter in the city of Atlanta. So all of my adolescence are all about the city of Atlanta. Now, when I became an adult, 22, 23, I actually moved further out. So I moved into the suburbs. So from 22, I'm 30 something right now. And so 10 years of my life has been in the suburbs the last 10 years. So I feel that I can give you that well-rounded approach to understanding the city of Atlanta, but also contrasting the metropolitan area as well, right? And so that's why I found it very, very important to make this video, to just give you that distinction, because I think that's one of the biggest questions that most people have is, what is the distinction and how do I know the difference? So keep watching. So now that you've got the information about the city of Atlanta, let's go ahead and move on and give you some fun facts about Metro Atlanta. If you're getting any information from this video, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a comment below to let me know what you thought about the first segment of the video. Now, Metro Atlanta, what is it? So in short, Metro Atlanta was designed by the United States Office of Management and Budgeting, right? And it was creating not only in Atlanta, but in every market or major city in the United States. The premise behind it was, let's combine these land areas where the density of the population resides. And hence, the majority of the population resided in the state of Georgia. The majority of the population resided in and near the Atlanta area. And so they created what we call the Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Roswell statistical area. That is the proper definition of that Atlanta Metro. And so it combines all of that. Originally in 1950, Atlanta Metro consisted of 5 counties. And those counties are, they're gonna be flashing on the screen now: Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, and Clayton. So those are your original 5 counties that made up Atlanta metropolitan area as of 1950. As you can imagine, since 1950, the population here in Atlanta, the growth has been just amazing. So obviously more counties were added into that area that we consider Atlanta metropolitan area. As of today, we have 11 popular, major metropolitan counties. So we internally have distinctions between our Atlanta metropolitan areas. If you've ever heard the governor of Georgia give a press release about Georgia, he will use the 11 metropolitan counties, right? And so we have 11 of those. The addition, there were 6 more counties added from 1950 to present. When really there's more than, so caveat, there are more than 11 metropolitan counties, but we have what we call the major 11 metropolitan counties. We actually have 29 counties now that make up the Atlanta metropolitan area due to the population and density. But as far as the popular major metropolitan counties, that is gonna be a total of 11. All right, and so let me give you those additional 6 that was added to the original 5 in 1950. Flashing on the screen now, you'll see 6 more counties were added to the primary county list, and that included Cherokee, Douglas, Fayette, Henry, Rockdale, and Forsyth, making up the 11 most populous metropolitan counties in the Atlanta metropolitan area. I know, a lot of information. And the reason another reason I'm making this video, because all of the time I see in the comments, that's not Atlanta, that's not Atlanta, that's not Atlanta Metro, that's not Atlanta Suburbs. You don't know what you're talking about. And that's why I wanted to give you this video, right? So you can refer and use it. Fact check me, do your research from this video and really ascertain and see that knowledge grow, right? Especially if you're thinking about moving here. You should know more about what makes up what and why things are what. And so, you don't have to have that little rapper chick telling you that ain't Atlanta. You'll know what's Atlanta and what's not. So let's keep moving and break down the contrasts and differences between Atlanta City and Metro Atlanta. But before I do that, let me give you a few more tips on Metro Atlanta. So fast forward into current day, we now have, like I said before, 29 metro counties that we consider to be the Atlanta metropolitan area. And that is basically made up of a 40-mile radius circle around the city center of Atlanta, Georgia, city limits of Atlanta, Georgia. So if you were to Google Atlanta City Hall, that is essentially the epicenter of Atlanta, right? That's the most center point of Atlanta is gonna be the City Hall. It's right downtown, right within probably 100 feet from the Georgia State Capitol, right? Off building, the Capitol building of Georgia. So that is the center. If you put a dot and you draw a radius circle, all right, and expand it 40 miles, Everything within that circle is considered to be Metro Atlanta. All right, regardless of the county, because that county, well, not regardless, but that county is going to be in one of those 29, okay, counties. So that's the simplest way to understand Atlanta Metro. If it's within 40 miles, okay, of downtown Atlanta, that particular area is considered Metro Atlanta. All right, so now you are an expert on Metro Atlanta. You can tell your friends, like, no, that is Metro Atlanta. That's not Atlanta City, but that's Metro Atlanta. Or no, that's not Metro Atlanta. Yeah, you now have the ammunition to do that. So now that you understand Metro Atlanta and City of Atlanta, let's talk about suburbs of Atlanta, right? Because now that's a whole nother subtopic. And this one is one of the most misused, I think, terminology, and I am guilty of it sometimes myself, okay? So what is suburbs of Atlanta? My answer, okay, is any city or town that is one of the 11 metropolitan counties will consist of the Atlanta suburb area or the suburbs of Atlanta. If that address or that property or that location is within one of those top 11 counties, now you're in the Atlanta suburbs. So remember, we had 11 counties are the most populous counties to consider Metro Atlanta. And then we had a total of 29 that is Metro Atlanta. But the suburbs, Atlanta suburbs, is only gonna be narrowed down to those 11 counties. So if that particular area is within those 11 counties, the most populous, then yes, that area is going to be considered a suburb of the city of Atlanta. All right, so I know that's a little confusing, but any area outside of those 11 counties, which I'll flash those 11 counties on the screen right now, so let's drive it home. So the 11 counties are Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, and Clayton. All right, so, and then we added 6 more. We added Cherokee, Douglas, Fayette, Henry, Rockdale, Forsyth, making up the 11th most populous county. So if the house or home or location is within Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, Clayton, Douglas, Fayette, Henry, Rockdale, and Forsyth, that is a suburb. That house is, or that area is a suburb of the city of Atlanta. All right, so now you're an expert. You know about the city of Atlanta, you know about Metro Atlanta, and you know about the suburbs of Atlanta. Woo! Drop a comment below. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about that knowledge that you have now as you're continuing to grow, all right, in that knowledge base. Now let's keep moving. So let's talk takeaways, all right? So now this is gonna summarize everything we just talked about, 14 minutes, summed down into like 2 seconds, all right? City of Atlanta is different from Metro Atlanta and suburbs of Atlanta, okay? Metro Atlanta is bigger than the city of Atlanta itself. Atlanta suburbs is used sometimes synonymously with Metro Atlanta, but can be more subjective than Metro Atlanta. All right, so that's pretty much the takeaway. And but needless to say, I think going back to this video, if you've made it this far, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because more content like this is going to be coming out to help you with your knowledge of Metro Atlanta. I don't want to just be the YouTuber that are showing you property tours. I want to be the YouTuber that give you that information and give you that substance, right? The meat on the bones, okay? Drop in the comments, hashtag meat on the bones. That is what this channel is about. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, as I said before, drop a comment, and let me know how much you enjoyed it. And look out for the next video, because more is coming. Also, feel free to check out the channel. Over 150 videos of information just like this, as well as property tours and the likes. So go check out the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for hanging out with me. See you next time.